The NFL draft process this offseason is the weirdest in modern history. It is. No combine, scattered pro days, limited in-person interviews, if any, as well as no top 30 visits. So it's more important than ever to keep tabs on who your team's decision makers are talking to and interviewing. So we went over Spielman's pro day visits earlier today. He's currently at BYU. He's not at Michigan, so that's fun. So go check out that video. And here is the list of players that the Vikings have met virtually via Walter Football. They're phenomenal at keeping tabs on who's meeting who. Vikings have confirmed met with 10 prospects so far, all virtually, 4 on offense, 6 on defense. No offensive linemen, by the way. Now, it's also important to note that it's not reported on who's doing the interviewing, but likely Rick Spielman is involved. It could be director of college scouting Jamal Stevenson as well. So there you go. First one. Derek Barnes, a linebacker from Purdue, had himself a nice pro day a couple days ago. 6'1", 245, 10.5 career sacks, 61 pressures in 4 seasons in West Lafayette. More of a Mike linebacker than a Will or a Sam in the National Football League, but could be some nice linebacker depth, special teams, etc. Then next, KJ Britt. Oof. I love KJ Britt, man. Like, he's like diet taquillo spikes, tough nose, thick neck linebacker. Just love it. 6 foot, 243, team captain, business degree, got a good head on his shoulders, nice leader. First team All SEC in 2019. Fortunately, only played in 2 games in 2020 due to a hand injury. Played at the Senior Bowl, rocked it out. Throwback Mike, tough slobber knocker linebacker. Next up, running back Chris Evans from Michigan, Captain America, 5'11", 216. Was a 5th-year senior. Was actually suspended for the entire 2019 season due to academic issues, but it's a really cool story about how he worked his way back. He stayed on campus. He got his grades right. He worked 3 jobs to make ends meet, and it's a nice redemption story. Career 1,792 yards rushing, 15 touchdowns, 5.6 yards per carry. Pro day is going on as we speak. Does have decent size, his quickness to be a day 3 asset. Could be a nice running back 3 for the Vikings. Next up, Chauncey Golson, defensive end from Iowa. Now this would be a day 3 Andre Patterson special. 6'5", 270, has length, 5.5 sacks, 34 pressures in 2020, 82.9 PFF grade, has size to set the edge versus the run, plus could develop a better repertoire of pass rush moves. Would be a nice rotational upgrade over Jalen Holmes. Then you have Kylan Hill, the running back from Mississippi State. Go Bulldogs, more cowbell. Former teammate of Cameron Tiny Dancer, 5'10", 214. Career 2,535 yards rushing, 16 touchdowns, also 67 receptions, 631 yards receiving, and 6 tutties. It has speed and decent power. Will be a nice running back 2 somewhere. Might sneak into the day 2 conversation, so that might be a little bit too rich for the Vikings blood in terms of picking up a running back. Next up, Wyatt Hubert, 3'4" outside linebacker from Kansas State, 6'3", 265. Undersized, high motor guy. Sort of reminds me of Unique, a little bit heavier, but in that category. 20 career sacks, 33 tackles for loss, a 14.1% pressure rate for his career in Manhattan. A really nice situational pass rusher. Also, notice going for some undersized edge guys. Let's see here. Next up, Anthony Schwartz, who we talked about at length this morning, the wide receiver from Auburn. All-world track speed, 54 catches, 636 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns last season. Can be a gadget-type player. That's how he got his start on the Plains in Auburn. And really just a tough kid for 6 foot, a $186. Would like to see him return some kicks, but would be a day 3 wide receiver 3 upgrade for the Vikings. Next up, Jacoby Stevens, the outside linebacker / safety from LSU, 6'1", 216, former 5-star recruit. Now, he is the definition of a money backer. He's going to be a day 3 guy, play some special teams, could have some upside as a strong safety, but you're not going to get a ton out of him in coverage, but he is a tough physical type player. I do like him a lot. Then we get to Marlon Tui Poloto, the defensive tackle from USC. I love both the USC defensive tackles, Tui Poloto as well as Tufele, all going back to the size motif on the Vikings defensive line, getting back to that 6'2", 308. Had a nice pro day this week in LA, career 75.3 PFF run defense grade. Nice athlete, has a little bit more pass rush than is given credit for. 7% career pressure rate, 8.5 sacks, 15 tackles for loss. He's going to be in that day 2, early day 3 mix. And then finally, Kenny Yeboah, the tight end from Ole Miss. Temple transfer, 6'4", 240. Last season, Yeboah had 27 catches, 524 yards receiving, 6 touchdowns at Ole Miss. And he is that move F joker tight end, whatever you want to call it. Solid athlete and a good route runner. You do get some Bucky Hodges, AC Leonard type vibes in terms of athleticism and upside. I think that he could potentially be one of the top 5 tight ends taken. He's giving you that mid-round mix. So looking at that list, Of the 10, 0 offensive linemen. Yeah, not great, but maybe Spielman is keeping things a little bit close to the chest, not tipping his hand on who he's interested in. That would be smart, and teams do that in interviews as well as top 30 visits, even though they don't have those this year. 4 of the top 10 are linebackers, if you include Jacoby Stevens as a linebacker, which I kind of do. And you have the loss of Eric Wilson, plus Anthony Barr is on a 1-year deal, so the Vikings could precipitate an emphasis on linebacker earlier in the draft than you would expect. Also, a few of the undersized stand-up 3-4 edge guys, are they making a switch? Even though Golson has the typical length that the Vikings generally look for at edge, but maybe they got a taste of Yannick last year in the 6 games he was series, like, kind of like those guys too. And then 2 of the 10 are running backs. And with Mike Boone gone, Amir Abdullah back on a 1-year non-guaranteed league minimum deal. There's always injury concerns, of course, with Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison, so that would make sense. And Yeboah definitely with Rudy out, even though you have Irv. Tyler Gronklin is on his contract year of his rookie deal, so there we go. But that's it so far. Those are the 10 prospects that the Vikings have met with virtually. Does this mean that the Vikings will 100% draft them? No. But getting some due diligence and getting to know some of these guys better, absent a combine, absent getting to every single pro day, it does make a ton of sense, and putting in that legwork and getting things done. Be your thoughts. Vikings, virtual prospects, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, post some in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.